The morning paints the floorboards gold. A stripe of light, a story left untold. It touches everything you used to hold, and settles on the space you left so cold. I set the table out of habit now. A second cup, a silent hollow vow. The steam just curls and dissipates somehow into the quiet of an empty vow. How do you grieve a silhouette, a promise that the sunrise hasn't met, and your shadow on the empty chair is the only guest that lingers there, a perfect outline of the missing air, a love reduced to dust and sunlit hair. We built a home on phantom ground and watched the walls come silently down. I trace the shape your absence leaves behind, a negative of everything I find, the clockwork of a broken, gentle mind, just winding down and leaving time unkind. How do you mourn a space, not flesh, a beautiful and quiet, slow undress, and your shadow on the empty chair is the only guest that lingers there, a perfect outline of the missing air, a love reduced to dust and sunlit hair. We built a home on phantom ground and watched the walls come silently down. The hardest truth in all this fading light is that the ghost feels warmer than the night. It's easier to love the afterglow than face the dawn and finally let you go. And your shadow on the empty chair is the only guest that lingers there, a perfect outline of the missing air, a love reduced to dust and sunlit air. Sunbeam moves, the outline fades, just an empty chair in an empty room I made. circle on the floor, a quiet death. I watch it from the hallway, a trespasser in my own home, counting the seconds till the filament's final groan. Your book lies open, spine still cracked, to a chapter you never finished, a story you never tracked. The dust motes dance in that failing golden beam, like the ghosts of all the conversations we'd never dream. How do you measure the dark when it starts to win? How do you mourn a warmth that never let you in? And this is the fuse that forgot to burn, a slow dimming with nowhere to turn. No explosion of anger, no passionate cry, just a bulb growing cold, learning how to say goodbye. We were a circuit left open, a current that never learned why. I trace the outline of your pillow with my eyes, where your head should be, a hollow space lies. The glow retreats across the carpet, inch by inch, leaving only the imprint, a permanent flinch. How do you close a door that was never quite shut? How do you extinguish a flame that never caught? And this is the fuse that forgot to burn, a slow dimming with nowhere to turn. No explosion of anger, no passionate cry, just a bulb growing cold, learning how to say goodbye. We were a circuit left open, a current that never learned why. For the switch to end the pretend, so we just let the twilight be our end. The last light in your room finally goes out, and I'm still here in the dark, learning what silence is about. The record stopped before the final song. A needle lifted and the silence hung. Your coat still hangs upon story finished in a borrowed book. I trace the outline where your ring once lay, a pale impression that the light won't gray. No slam door echo, no dramatic scene, just the slow dissolve of what we might have been. How do you grieve a ghost that never haunts? How do you mend a seam where nothing wants? It was the last unspoken syllable, a breath you took that never reached the air, a love that ended in the space between, a final glance and then an empty chair. We faded like a photograph left in the sun before our story had begun. I find your hairbrush tangled with a strand, a tiny artifact held in my hand. The clock ticks louder in this hollow room, a quiet blooming of a certain doom. How do you mourn a fire that never burned? How do you read a page you never turned? It was the last unspoken syllable, a breath you took that never reached the air, a love that ended in the space between, a final glance and then an empty chair. We faded like a photograph left in the sun before our story had begun. The hardest sound is not a cry or plea, it's the quiet settling of dust on me, the echo of a promise thin and worn, the dying of the light that promised morn. The last unspoken syllable held on my tongue, dissolving now into the quiet hum. The switch is off, the cord is coiled tight, a silhouette against the fading light. I memorized the pattern on the shade, a ghost of warmth the evening couldn't save. You left a book face down upon the sill, a bookmark where the narrative went still. The dust is writing poems on the glass, and silent lines the future couldn't pass. What was the promise in that final glow? A secret that I'll never get to know. It was the fuse that never lit, the spark you kept but never quit, a potential that just hung in the air, a silent prayer, an empty chair. You took the match and left the darkness waiting there. I traced the outline where your lamp once stood, a phantom in the unlit neighborhood. The bulb grew cold before it learned to shine, a borrowed hope that wasn't ever mine. What was the story in that dying beam? A closing scene from someone else's dream. It was the fuse that never lit, the spark you kept but never quit, a potential that just hung in the air, a silent prayer, an empty chair. You took the match and left the darkness waiting there. The tragedy's not in the sudden night, but in the glow that almost chose to fight. The almost warmth, the almost golden hour that wilted like an unwatered flower. Just a switch unturned, a lesson never learned. The radio's on, but it's just static snow, a wavelength searching for a signal long ago. Your favorite chair holds the shape of the air, and the clock on the wall doesn't seem to care. I trace the ghost of your laugh on the glass, a memory that's fading, too fragile to last. No slammed doors or shattered plates on the floor, just the echo of footsteps not coming in through the door. How do you grieve for a sound that never came? How do you miss a voice you can't even name? We tuned out on the dial of goodbye to the last unheard frequency, a silent sky, like a broadcast that ended mid-sentence, mid-breath, leaving nothing but the quiet aftermath. We let the connection die before we ever heard the static sigh. I still dial your number just to hear the dead tone, a robotic recording in this empty home. It's the conversations we never began that haunt me more than any goodbye ever can. We tuned out on the dial of goodbye to the last unheard frequency, a silent sky, like a broadcast that ended mid-sentence, mid-breath, leaving nothing but the quiet aftermath. We let the connection die before we ever heard the static sigh. The hardest part isn't the fight we didn't have. It's the peaceful white noise, this quiet, lonely sound. No dramatic curtain call, no final scene, just the hollow hum of what could have been. Just the hollow hum, the last unheard frequency, fading into static. I trace the outline on the pillowcase where your head used to rest, an empty space. The sheets still hold the cold you left behind, a phantom warmth I'm desperate to find. I talk to shadows on the bedroom wall and hear your laughter in the hallways fall. I set the table for a dinner guest who's just a whisper, just a fading breath. How do you hold a shape made out of air? How do you love a soul that isn't there? I'm dancing with a ghost in the pale moonlight, holding on to echoes, holding on too tight. Your You're the chill in the summer, the sun in the rain, the beautiful, unbearable, lingering pain. I'm loving a ghost, and I'm wearing out my heart on a memory's coast. I wear your old t-shirt like a second skin, a scent that's almost gone but still lets me in. I argue with the silence, plead my case to the vacant smile on your photograph's face. How do you kiss a mouth made out of mist? How do you mend a heart that can't resist? I'm dancing with a ghost in the pale moonlight, holding on to echoes, holding on too tight. You're the chill in the summer, the sun in the rain, the beautiful, unbearable, lingering pain. I'm loving a ghost, and I'm wearing out my heart on a memory's coast. The cruelest magic, the most perfect lie is feeling you beside me as the world goes by, and waking to the truth so stark and plain. I'm building a home in the aftermath of rain. I'm dancing with a ghost in the pale moonlight, holding on to echoes, losing my own light. You're the chill in the summer, the sun in the rain, the beautiful, unbearable, lingering pain. I'm loving a ghost on a memory's coast. Just a memory's coast. The morning came with ordinary light. Your side of the bed was just a little less warm. I didn't hear the turning of the tide, just the quiet before the coming storm. Your laughter in the kitchen, slightly out of tune, the way you'd hum a melody you'd never finish. I thought it was just another afternoon, but the colors started to quietly diminish. How do you notice when a star begins to die? It's just a little less bright against the velvet sky. It was the last unfinished breath we shared, a love dissolving into empty air. We were a photograph left out in the rain, fading into nothing without any pain. I find your sweater folded on the chair, still holding the shape of you, a ghostly trace. I reach to touch it, but there's nothing there, just the memory of warmth in an empty space. How do you mourn a song that never found its key? How do you grieve a love you never got to see? It was the last unfinished breath we shared, a love dissolving into empty air. No final chapter, no dramatic end, just the slow dimming of a light, my friend. We were a photograph left out in the rain, fading into nothing without any pain. The hardest truth is in the ordinary things, the coffee mug that sits untouched, the silent phone that never rings, the calendar still turned to when you were here, the echo of your absence growing louder year by year. It was the last unfinished breath we shared, a love dissolving into empty air. No final chapter, no dramatic end, just the slow dimming of a light, my friend. We were a photograph left out in the rain, fading into nothing without warning, just faded like a breath I forgot to take. The record stopped before the final track. No needle scratch, no sound of turning back. Your coat still hangs upon the hallway hook, a silent chapter in a closed-up book. The tea grew cold between our empty chairs. The clock just watched our unspoken affairs. No shattered glass, no voices raised in blame, just two flames fading, calling different names. How do you grieve a song that never played? How do you mourn a debt that was never paid? This was surrender without a war, a quiet closing hearts choosing their separate ache. We laid our weapons down before we ever learned what we were fighting for. Trace the outline where your shadow fell, a ghostly imprint, a silent farewell. The hardest part of this gentle defeat is knowing our ending felt almost complete. How do you miss a touch that never came? How do you heal choosing their separate ache? We laid our weapons down before we ever learned what we were fighting for. They say love should burn bright or fade to black, but I've just turned to whispers, never looking back. No grand explosion, just a slow release, the gentle unraveling of a fragile piece. This was surrender without a war, a quiet closing of a door. No final battle, no last stand to make, just two hearts choosing their separate ache. We laid our weapons down before we ever learned what we were fighting for. Just the last unplayed note hanging in the air. The morning paints a stripe across the floor, a perfect line that ends right at the door. I set the table out of ancient habit, 2 cups, one filled, the other just a habit. Dust performs a slow and silent dance in every space you left to empty chance. The clockwork ticks a hollow, steady rhyme, marking the passage of unclaimed time. How do you measure what was never there? How do you grieve for phantom strands of hair? And the chair holds your silhouette, a charcoal sketch I can't forget, a negative of light, a borrowed shape, a promise that began to fray and scrape. We built a home of almost and of nearly, and left the rooms unfinished. trace the outline on the wooden slab. A conversation finished just like that. No final scene, no curtain call, no art. Just the slow unlearning of a heart. And the chair holds your silhouette, a charcoal sketch I can't forget, a negative of light, a borrowed shape, a promise that began to fray and scrape. We built a home of almost and of nearly, and left the rooms unfinished dearly. The sun will move, the stripe will disappear, the dust will settle season after year. And maybe one day in some other light, I won't see the ghost where you took flight. But for now, the absence has a form, a silhouette, enduring, warm. Just a shape where you used to be, just a chair and a memory. There's a glass of water on the nightstand, still half full from last night's thirst. I keep forgetting to pour it out and watch the dust settle first. Your side of the bed is just a dent now, a fossil in the linen's crease. I talk to the pillow in the morning and beg the silence for some peace. I find your hair still in the brush sometimes, dark against the porcelain white. I save them in an old matchbox, a tiny archive of your light. The shower steam still writes your name before it fades against the tile. I live inside these little ruins and walk your memory's empty mile. How do you hold a shape made of air? How do you love what was never there? I'm loving a ghost in a sunlit room, tracing the outline of a vanished bloom, dancing with echoes in the afternoon, to a melody that ended too soon. I'm pouring my heart into a silhouette, a debt of affection I can't forget. Loving a ghost is my quiet regret. I set the table still for two, a conversation with the empty chair. I pour the wine and watch it breathe and pretend that you are sitting there. The radio plays our old song, and for 3 minutes you're not gone. Then the static rushes back in, and I remember all over again. How do you kiss a photograph? with echoes in the afternoon, to a melody that ended too soon. I'm pouring my heart into a silhouette, a debt of affection I can't forget. Loving a ghost is my quiet regret. They say the body keeps the score of every touch of every door that ever opened, ever closed. But what's the tally for a ghost? For fingerprints that left no mark, for conversations in the dark that only one side still recalls. These are the most haunted walls. I'm loving a ghost in a sunlit room, tracing the outline of a vanished bloom, dancing with echoes in the afternoon, to a melody that ended too soon. I'm pouring my heart into a silhouette, a debt of affection I can't forget. Loving a ghost is my quiet regret. The glass of water still remains, catching the slow descending rains of afternoon light through the pane. I'll drink it tomorrow or let it stain into the quiet, into the quiet. The morning paints the floorboards gold, a stripe of light, a story left untold. It touches everything you used to hold, and settles on the space you left so cold. I set the table out of habit now, a second cup, a silent hollow vow. The steam just curls and dissipates somehow into the quiet of an empty vow. How do you grieve a silhouette, a promise that the sunrise hasn't met, and your shadow on the empty chair is the only guest that lingers there, a perfect outline of the missing air, a love reduced to dust and sunlit hair. We built a home on phantom ground and watched the walls come silently down. I trace the shape your absence leaves behind, a negative of everything I find, the clockwork of a broken, gentle mind, just winding down and leaving time unkind. How beautiful and quiet, slow undress, and your shadow on the empty chair is the only guest that lingers there, a perfect outline of the missing air, a love reduced to dust and sunlit hair. We built a home on phantom ground and watched the walls come silently down. The hardest truth in all this fading light is that the ghost feels warmer than the night. It's easier to love the afterglow than face the dawn and finally let you go. And your shadow on the empty chair is the only guest that lingers there, a perfect outline of the missing air, a love reduced to dust and sunlit air. Sunbeam moves, the outline fades, just an empty chair in an empty room I made. The lamp on your nightstand holds its breath, a yellow circle on the floor, a quiet death. I watch it from the hallway, a trespasser in my own home, counting the seconds till the filament's final groan. Book lies open, spine still cracked, to a chapter you never finished, a story you never tracked. The dust motes dance in that failing golden beam, like the ghosts of all the conversations we'd never dream. How do you measure the dark when it starts to win? How do you mourn a warmth that never let you in? And this is the fuse that forgot to burn, a slow dimming with nowhere to turn. No explosion of anger, no passionate cry, just a bulb growing cold, learning how to say goodbye. We were a circuit left open, a current that never learned why. I trace the outline of your pillow with my eyes, where your head should be, a hollow space lies. The glow retreats across the carpet, inch by inch, leaving only the imprint, a permanent flinch. How do you close a door that was never quite shut? How do you extinguish a flame that never caught? And this is the fuse that forgot to burn, a slow dimming with nowhere to turn. No explosion of anger, no passionate cry, just a bowl growing cold, learning how to say goodbye. We were a circuit left open, a current that never learned why. The tragedy isn't in the sudden black, it's in the long slow fade, the courage we lack to reach for the switch, to end the pretend. So we just let the twilight be our end. The last light in your room finally goes out, and I'm still here in the dark, learning what silence is about. The record stopped before the final song. A needle lifted and the silence hung. Your coat still hangs upon the hallway hook, a story finished in a borrowed book. I trace the outline where your ring once lay, a pale impression that the light won't gray. No slam door echo, no dramatic scene, just the slow dissolve of what we might have been. How do you grieve a ghost that never haunts? How do you mend a seam where nothing wants? It was the last unspoken syllable, a breath you took that never reached the air, a love that ended in the space between, a final glance and then an empty chair. We faded like a photograph left in the sun before our story had begun. I find your hairbrush tangled with a strand, a tiny artifact held in my hand. The clock ticks louder in this hollow room, blooming of a certain doom. How do you mourn a fire that never burned? How do you read a page you never turned? It was the last unspoken syllable, a breath you took that never reached the air, a love that ended in the space between, a final glance and then an empty chair. We faded like a photograph left in the sun before our story had begun. The hardest sound is not a cry or plea, it's the quiet settling of dust on me, the echo of a promise thin and worn, the dying of the light that promised morn. The last unspoken syllable held on my tongue, dissolving now into the quiet hum.